So, welcome back. We are streaming slash recording a YouTube VOD again tonight. And today I thought I would take a little bit of a shot with a triple up here in the bottom left corner. This is a $15 triple up instead of a 33 triple up. And so this is a bit of a shot for us. It is considered low stakes, and previously we've only been playing micros. And on the right, we have open registered a $5 hyper turbo and a $1 hyper turbo. And so we're expecting to, kind of be taking a little bit of a shot here. I suppose I should change the stream name. And, or it's probably okay. In the bottom left, we do not need to chip up, and we need to really focus on kind of that board more than the other ones. We do not need to chip up, and we need to really focus. Oh my god, I'm gonna have a heart attack if I start a loop. Okay, let's see. I forget where it is. Creator dashboard, maybe. Apologies for just leading you through my stuff. It is for stream info. So there's a couple of times we've tried to break into low stakes, and generally it's like kind of made us a little bit nervous, and we've played poorly. We haven't tried to take a shot really at low stakes since we started playing again. Ace Queen suited is a very strong hand here. And so we've played one sit and go, but I qualified taking a shot as we're just going to play 10. And so see how things go. And I saw there weren't any other 9-person tables really looking like they were going to fire. And so I figured I would take a shot at this one. In the bottom left, the triple up. Even though triple ups are not our specialty, I think that we try and accumulate chips later on in a way that's detrimental to us. We can bet here. This lead is a little bit funny. I'm definitely continuing. Just the question is, do I want to raise with my gut shot, or do I want to just flat? I think I just like just flatting, because I close the action, I get to see another card. I'm going to raise and then look to check back or fold on the river. This might be a bit of a punt. I think that this guy is doing this with weak hands and not trying to induce. Well, I'm not folding to a min bet, and so the only question is am I going to bet large? Or am I just going to flat call? Kind of hate the spot we've put ourselves into here. Well, I think lacking a heart, we're just going to flat call and sometimes be good. We're not. The bet's just far too small to fold, but I think that we do not have a good candidate for a bluff. We would want to have a heart for a bluff, and we did not have that. Really interesting play where he's like leading for a very small amount when he flops top pair. We'll put a little note on him. And because of that, we'll know that we can probably bet pretty aggressively into him when he checks to us, if he has a value leading range. I don't have much a problem with our play. We are going to raise over this limp in the bottom right. And I'm not sure which one of these is the $5 and which one's the $1, so we'll get to find that out together, I guess. When we reg a new table after we bust, that's when we'll figure it out. Or after we win, rather, as it were. We're just going to check back in the bottom right. We pick up some equity if he has a pair. We're not going anywhere to a min bet. And we river the nuts. So we're going to raise it up pretty big and look to get value. He gets the bad news. We will sit here so we're not disoriented. Let's double check the OBS. Yeah, everything seems to be working. We're just going to call along. This is a reasonable 3-bet candidate. It's also a reasonable call. I think we should be calling like half the time and 3-betting like half the time. Or that's how I like to play it against raise from like this position. We don't have a diamond, and we are 4-way in the bottom right corner, and so we're probably going to look to let it go to like a reasonable normal size bet. So something that's like really small. We're still going to fold. If we had a diamond, we would continue for that price. But the problem is not so much, or if we close the action, we would continue for that price. Here we're in a little bit of a weird spot. This 4x raise will generally look kind of stronger, and then but the flat call is probably dead money, so I think we can jam, and sometimes we'll be running into it in a particularly annoying way, but this guy's going to fold a lot, this guy's going to call. We did run into it a little bit. We managed to get lucky. But yeah, so often with the 4 to 5x raises, it's often 9s through what is it? Like 9s through jacks, where you have this relatively strong pocket pair that like is pretty vulnerable to like overcards flop like outflopping them or like making it hard to play post. So they raise really big as a compensation. And so I kind of like actually either like any one of the like pre-flop decisions with the ace-10 I think is like pretty defensible. It's like a weird hand where like everything looks good. You know, we're gonna raise over his limp. If you fold because you think it's like jacks or like 9s through jacks or whatever, that seems like not terrible. If you just flat, that seems fine, and like I think shoving also seems fine. Obviously shoving's what we did, but and we get shoved on here. This guy limp shoves. I think we'll just call. He's in really bad shape. He needs to hit a 9. And we win the main pot. So we're doing pretty good on these tables. We're not doing terrible on this table. What happened earlier, for anyone who was not here, is that we got this guy leading into us really small. We decided to kind of treat his lead, since it was so small, as a check, and we checked back. We just called on the flop, and then we raised him small on the turn, and then we called like a min bet on the river. I think he was... Usually when people are doing that, they are trying to find a cheap showdown. We're going to call this, or we're going to jam over it. And so when they're trying to get a cheap showdown, you kind of have two options of like either... Well, I just called him, but like I think it would have been reasonable to try and jam, but very scary. We can shove for this much, because it's only like 5 blinds. We're in bad shape. And we do not need to call this bet here. We do have a spade, which like makes it slightly more callable, but once this guy calls especially, we can just be done with the hand. We're going to raise, we're going to call this guy and fold to this guy if he jams on us. He min raises, we'll just call. So we flop top pair. It's going to be his range is going to be pretty nutted sometimes, so we're just going to call. If he bets small again, alright, we're going to bet half pot and then look to check back rivers. I guess his lead was he was just trying to buy a fold cheap, and we're just going to check here. If he bets pretty big into us, we're just going to fold. Yeah, he has ace-king. I think if he... seems like he's just playing pretty straightforward, so, like, if you lead into us, we're just going to flat and then stop and go this guy. So we're going to flat and then jam. Because he's never folding pre, and there's a slight chance he'll fold. I don't think he does. I also think his range is really strong. Yeah, and it is. Usually when people are raising, when they have very few blinds left, instead of jamming, their range is extremely strong. We're in a little bit of a weird spot. We could jam over this guy's limp, I think, but he is really deep, so I normally like to make this move where I'm jamming kings, like king rag, queen rag, type hands, ace rag, over limps, because they will often be just extremely weak, and this guy seems like he's just going to bet every flop. So we actually probably need to be a little bit careful if he just checks. We're going to look to check back a lot against his checks, because he is betting out of flow with nothing. So if he bets here, we're going to raise him, actually, for protection. And now we're just going to check back, because we're a little spooked about that. We are going to bet for protection here, and then look to check back river. This is a hand that we could reasonably squeeze with, I think, and I think we're going to do it. Charge these guys a little bit. This guy is liable to jam, like, a medium amount of the time, and we might even stop and go him. I think this guy will fold a medium amount of time, just kind of 50-50 whether he comes along or folds. And then here I am going to stop and go this guy. We have some backdoor straight draws, backdoor flush draws, and do not have a strong hand at the moment. Alright, we're going to check. We now have the nuts. I think it's going to be hard to get value from this guy. We're going to bet and then jam river, though. And now, in the top right, we can kind of lean on this guy here. We haven't been really getting hands in the bottom left, but that's okay. We just need to, I think we're going to jam here. This guy in the top right, he does seem to have a mostly limping strategy, but I think he has to fold a lot, and we have the ace. It's much better than the queen 7, which we folded earlier. Also, we are deeper than we were earlier, or our stack is bigger relative to his, and so he has to start folding for ICM reasons. Like, he cannot afford to play for stacks with us when he is so close to just getting the money for being a second. So we're going to bet for protection. We're going to bet, like, half pot instead of 3/4 pot, because our hand is... we do not want to play a massive pot with the 3 clubs. And now if he leads into us large, we're going to fold, but he does not. And we're just going to check back. And we split it. We kind of get a little bit lucky there, I guess. That even though we are dominated... Alright, we're going to play this as a raise call. We are going to call this guy if he jams. This is effectively a jam into the other 2 players. And we're going to call the jam in the top right. Cannot fold this many blinds. Guy gets a little unlucky here. Pour one out for the unlucky guy. And we're going to jam here. This guy's been playing really passively. He might even fold this. I'm not sure you can fold anything for 3 blinds. He's in good shape, though, with king. We're just going to jam and try and get in the money. We're going to all in here. And I think they have to play really careful because of ICM reasons. Well, this guy calls. Guy Gonna be kind of sick if we get two calls with the 10-3 suited. Yeah, we still have a decent chance, but it's pretty grim. So now we gotta lock it up a little bit. Alright, we're gonna jam over with the ace-10. And we're gonna be looking to get it all in with the ace-7. He just saw us jam a really bad hand, so maybe he's gonna call off light. It's still a little bit spooky. Yeah, he calls off a little bit light, I think. He's still got good equity, though. But we managed to take it down. This guy, I was going to say, was dominated, so bad luck for him. And so this guy's going to have to fold almost everything. We will call along since someone already limped. And we're just going to kind of set mine a little bit here. We're going to jam with the king-jack. We maybe could have played this as a stop and go. We're going to jam with the ace. In the bottom left, we do have overs. I just don't think we can bet this 5-way, even though I think there's a decent shot we have the best hand. If we do not have the best hand, our hand's not going to get better very easily. Just going to fold here. We're just going to flat because this guy has not been raising. And now we're going to check jam. We have a ton of equity in the bottom right. In this the flop's really hard for him to hit, so I expect him to fold like a fairly high frequency. And he doesn't fold, but we have a good chance. We're going to rip over the limp with the 5, queen 5. Expect to get a fold pretty frequently, and then have decent, we're going to have decent equity when called, which we do. And we just managed to get lucky, which we did. And it's fortunate that that's on the other board, which it is. Get big lick in the bottom left, kind of just blinding away here, but that's okay. Just updating how we are doing. We are getting some lag, some turbulence. Oop. We're going to jam here with the ace-king suited. Not going to really play trappy with too many hands. Mainly just the high pocket pairs. We're going to jam over with our ace. Unlucky. Unlucky for him. That sucks. Alright, we get a playable hand in the bottom left. This is, I think, probably our weakest suited connector. We're raising from under the gun here, but and we get first place on this table as well. Now, this other table has not popped, which is not exactly what we want, because now we will still not know which table is which next time. Or maybe that's exactly what we want. We're going to bet pretty big here in the bottom left, flopping top pair. We expect him to raise 10s fairly often. I think that his calling range should contain, you know, 8s through queens as far as pocket pairs go, or at least that's what I play from the small blind as a call. But we're going to pot commit ourselves. We do have some additional gutter equity with the 6. But we are going with our hand here. I don't understand these like really small leads. This is a bit of a strangeness for me. And he folds after putting so many chips in. Just all just very weird. And so we're back above the average stack size. We're actually third of 9th, and we only need to get third. If we get third, we will get a $45 payout. Which might be our biggest payout we've ever gotten online. Because we've played a decent amount of like $10 buy-ins, but most of those have just been heads up. Which was kind of what we used to play originally. We used to play a lot of heads up. Our other tables are not doing a very good job of firing, so we're kind of just sitting here and watching. This ace-3 is going to be a decent squeeze hand. I kind of don't like squeezing very aggressively, though, when we don't need to chip up. And so I think I'll probably just check back, even if this guy comes along for a limp. He might be thinking of squeezing. We think this is the $1 table here that we're on. And we're just going to check. We don't have heart, and I think that this kind of smacks their ranges quite a bit. You know, kind of this low or this medium coordinated board fits a lot of limp strategies, so we're just going to fold. We also think this guy is just going to have really weak checking ranges. We have a note on him how he kind of just led small when he flopped top pair, but a top pair that could be dominated the way we played our range, so we're just going to tend to believe it more. Now, aces is a hand we will call as a trap in the small blind. Our small blind range is exploitative, and we do not need to play fast when we have the ace of diamonds. So we're just going to check and kind of give him some rope to hang himself. He overbets the pot, which we are loving. I don't think you're overbetting the pot there with second pair, so we're not very concerned. And now we're going to bet pot. Actually, I think I prefer a jam here, but that's fine. He doesn't call it in any case. So, what was that, Jack-9 suited? I couldn't tell if it was a Jack or a 9. But just try and get a little bit of a read on him. I should try and be making notes on these guys. But that was a decently strong hand to be limping. I think he should come in for a raise. And he also has a raise strategy, so I don't know what his raises look like. Also, I don't know what this guy's 2x whatever. So, we want to bet our stronger aces here. This is one of our stronger aces. We do have the Jack of Hearts, so I think there's some merit for checking back, but we're going to bet 3/4 pot here. Actually, I don't like our bet sizing. I think we should have bet like a third pot, but that's okay. This is our $5 one, up in the top right. This is a reasonable hand to squeeze with. I would like it a lot more if it was suited. I think I'm just not going to play it. We do not need to chip up very aggressively in this bottom left table. We just need to be one of the last 3. We do not need to try and get as many chips as possible. So. Your queen's in the top right. Rest in peace, Elizabeth. Just slightly too weak. We raise ace 9 off from under the gun. Ooh, just a terrible freaking... We're just gonna check. There's some, like, value to betting, but... I don't even know if we call a big bet. If someone else calls, we're folding. If they both fold, we'll call. We do have some extra equity with the 10. They both fold. I hate it. We're gonna fold if he like jams, which I think is like the bet sizing that should be used here. Be really annoyed if he bets like 140. God. Maybe don't even need to call there without a spade. I'm not sure exactly. Now, under normal circumstances, I think I would squeeze here, because this guy will be softer money, but we're generally respecting the raises. Depending on his sizing, I might check jam this. If there is a C-bet. I think the pot size is nice for a check jam. We flop pretty well here. But 8 on the river is just the rub-in, I think. We're going to call and then look to lead on some turns that aren't really bad for us. That's not the best for us. So we might just call again with our little bit of being up and down and having a pair. Can we go for value? No, I'm just going to check and let him bluff, maybe. Just going to check call, I think. Yeah. Bottom left, considering raising over the limper. I would if I was in later position, I think. We got 2 people sitting out on this table as well, which is not the worst strategy for the early stages of this. We're going to fold the jack-6. Perhaps we could go for some inspired play over this limp, but that seems a bit loose and unnecessary. I think it's interesting that all the active people are on short stacks now. Surely that can't be a coincidence. I should probably make a separate like window capture right here for the chat. That would make sense. I think I'll do that next time before I start the stream. Feeling a little restless. I'm tempted to raise this, but I don't think this is in our cutoff opening range here. Especially because this guy's liable to just be really just jam or foldy. This guy open shoves early position. I'm gonna come in for a raise with the ace-9 suited. Very attractive looking hand, because we're bored. We of course will be calling this. I do like betting for protection here. And then probably just checking most turns. Maybe we could have bet a little bit smaller. That's kind of funny, we both hit 2 pair. So I'm thinking of limping, but yeah, this is a limp. Normally we don't limp, but okay. I'm gonna try and collect these guys as blinds. King 8 suited. This hand plays a little poorly post. I think it should be ahead of their range, actually, fairly often. 1/3 pot bet. If we were the only person here, we would call, especially with the club, but we're not. Oop, a little bit of lag. I think we'll just fold the jack-6. We'll be looking to call in the top right. We should have jammed. We're going to stop and go this guy. We just want to get our money in. I think we could just check down, but I don't know. Maybe this is a bit of a spaz play. The pot's just so big, I don't know. Wow, we get 2 all-ins when we have kings. Well, let's click the call button in case we lag. What a wild spot. I mean, we don't like getting it in 4 ways that much. But we're not folding kings, I guess. Okay, so we will be all in our shot-taking spot. This is not ideal. But, yeah, the kings have been cruel to us. Over the past, couple months, we've actually just gotten, clobbered when we've had pocket kings and gotten it in pre-flop. Just done, absolutely terribly. We're just going to jam over because we're going to have good equity and it doesn't play very well post. It's kind of a bad hand for us to be up against. We're going to jam the jack-9. Gonna be all in with the ace-6 in the bottom left. It's not the hand we want, but it's the hand we deserve. Maybe this is supposed to be a shove. I think it's not quite a shove for what is this, 16? Yeah. This guy in the bottom right should be folding a little bit more to us. A little gruesome to come up against the jacks. Maybe we can hit an ace. We cannot, and we are out. We will not open up a similar table. That was a little bit of a shot for us. This might be a little bit of a... Well, actually, I don't think it's a spaz. I think it's fine. We're going to find another table to play. You can shove this for 10. You can shove over this. I think occasionally the bottom right he folds, but he shouldn't. We'll just reg another hyper, I guess. If this guy limps in the bottom right, we'll just play post with him. Yeah, we'll call. Maybe stop and go, depending on the texture. I think he'll fold a lot here to this. I think he'll also have a decent amount of aces, in which case we have some decent equity. Shoving this for 7 seems fine. And we're in a race. We're doing well in the race. I believe this was our $1. We will not register another $1, and we're going to be looked to be on only $5 tables. So we'll record the little win. It says we're up quite a bit, but we are not because we lost on our $15 table. But feels good. We're just going to fold the min raise. We could take a shot at a low stakes. Oh, there's a smaller stakes triple up. We should have played that. Oh well. We're going to take a shot at the $10 hyper. We've played one of these so far. And this is our format of choice. Really awkward spot with for ICM reasons. If we get jammed on, we're gonna fold actually, and he might know this. So if he limps, we're gonna jam. Six eight suited is not too bad. And our table pops. Oop, a little bit of lag as it goes. A little 3x raise. We're just gonna fold. We're gonna jam this for 10. Run into it a little bit. Double run into it, I guess. That is more than okay. Getting second place is pretty good. Overall, we've done really well on our not taking a shot tables, so we're still up on the session. I don't think we should. This is a good bluff hand. I think we just want to play a little post with it. Don't think we can continue here. Well, I guess it's a decent bluff, but we're just going to check. After he checks twice, generally, now this is an exploitative play, we're going to go bet. And the reason is people don't protect their checking ranges well enough. Don't like getting king 5 this deep. I think I'm just going to fold it. This is going to be a shove hand once we get shallower, but it's not here. It's more of a shove hand when this guy limps, but gonna want to wait to the next level for that. We hit a pair and a backdoor flush draw on the right, also some backdoor straight opportunities. This may be a reasonable hand to bet, but I don't really want to try and get it through four ways. I don't think this is... I don't think our betting range should be smaller four ways. That is a rather large overbet. And a call. I can't imagine. This is such a big overbet. It is Saturday night, so people are just going with their hands. We flop a gutter. We don't really believe this lead. Just people won't have many threes in their range in general. I mean, I would believe that if he has a lead, he has a 5. But it's also small. I don't know. I think if you're betting a 5 there, the sizing you want is big. I think leading there is just trying to say, oh, I'm trying to buy the pot for cheap. Which I think is what he was trying to do. So we showed him what was up with our gutter ball / backdoor flush draw, I think. Guy's having some connectivity issues. Make a little note. I don't think it'll come in too useful, but it might. We'll just attack his blind a little bit more aggressively. I suppose, just a slight bit. Just like if we would open ace 8, now we'll open ace 7, or something like that. The idea being we have disconnect equity. Because when you open up, the most likely person to defend out of any position, I think is... Actually, I think it's the button, but after the button, it's the big blind. I'm really not 100% sure on the frequencies. I should probably know that. That's probably a thing I should know. We will come in for a raise here. Nice, we get ace-7 suited. Nice, nice, nice. If we get several limps, we'll probably just jam over it. Oh. This is the guy who bet 300 on the flop with like a weird hand. I'm just gonna jam, and sometimes I'm gonna eat a bag of dicks. But I think that we should have put the note on. Oh well. All right. Well, we have a decent shot. We did, in fact, eat the bag of dicks. I was just... Oh, no. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Maybe we could have folded there. Oh, gross. Gross. I hate it. Well, I mean, good luck to us, I think. I do think we have to play this as a jam. I think this is one of the weakest jams we have, but from the cutoff here. But, we will be sticking to our strategy, so... We're trying to stick to our strategy. Often, when we're not doing so well, we either become more aggressive or less aggressive. Kind of, I think it depends on our mood a little bit. I think when we're talking through, like, what's going on, we tend to become less aggressive, and if we're just, like, listening to music and vibing, we become more aggressive. But we're in good shape here. I think we're first in chips. Yeah. It's twice in a row we've folded and would have flopped really good, but I guess 5 deuce is not really good. It's just pretty good. This guy with the gutter, and then this guy heroes with 2 overs. Or he was open-ended actually. I guess maybe I don't hate that. Open-ended with an over. I guess we should be watching the action more closely on this table. This table's like, moving up from 1 to 5 is a way bigger jump than from 5 to 10. I don't know if we call this for 9. I think we don't. We don't call when someone else calls over. Yeah, and the queens. Gross. Just like, give me the bad news on the flop, please. Appear to be lagging. I'm gonna fold again. jam if it folds to us here in the bottom left. Also jam if this guy limps. Don't think we need to call over. Or I don't think we need to overjam for 4. So... we get jammed on, yeah. We're in good shape. Not much we could do about that. We do flop decently. I kind of want to rip it in. I'm not going to play this hand though. I want to rip it in because I'm annoyed because we picked off this ridiculous jam with ace queen. I guess we should just reg another table now. We get jammed on for 7 or for 6.5. We have to call this for that much. Oh, and he has an 8 when we have this. 9, please. God. Yeah, we'll sit another. Yeah. I do think we have to, mathematically, we have to call there. Like, maybe we're supposed to exploitatively call there, fold there, but I don't think... I don't know, that's just not what I'm into. We're just, I don't know, that's like, that is a call for 6.5, but, like, he wasn't messing about. We would have much preferred if he was messing about, but that's not how the game works. We're gonna look to reg another $5 hyper turbo. I'm gonna fold over this action in the bottom right. Maybe we don't need to register another $5 hyper. We're gonna go with our ace, even though it's gonna be like infinite ways. Kind of like raising over here. It pot commits this guy who's in the big blind, and this other guy has, well, now we have just like a bluff catcher. Are we gonna bet for protection? Also because people's checking ranges are usually weak. This guy in the top left here closed the action. So we're assuming he doesn't, yeah. And then this guy, like, will be jamming a lot, I think. We already sat it, so we don't need to resit it. We did lose. We have to be able to look at where our table went. Okay. Oh, shoot. Always forget about the chat. Good hand to just get it in with. 6-4. Probably unsatisfying to lose with it, but seems fine. So this guy has a limping and raising strategy here. We could maybe squeeze with Queen 7. I like just a check call here, maybe. If we close the action, don't like it after the diamond comes. I think I like a fold. We're gonna jam if it folds to us. Another good jam. And close some of these tables. We'll get in with this hand as well. We now have like a kind of dominating chip stack. We don't know which one is which is not ideal with these, because one of these is twice as big as the other. I suppose it's not too big a deal. Just not what we want. We're gonna jam. I think I like a raise call with the jack, king jack suited, because it's a little easier to play post flop. Good call for him, and he doubles up. We're going to look to jam with this ace-8 over action. Could maybe get frisky with the jack-deuce. I think this is a mistake here, raising to 500 instead of jamming. I think we should have just jammed. Well, now we're here, so we're going to check, call. Alright. We should have just jammed. Hand 1, open jams. I really don't like this hyper turbo thing keep popping up. I'm just gonna call. I think that this is gonna be weak, like really often, and just someone who's a fish trying to gamble on the first hand. It's not an unreasonable jam, but we win it. I think we're gonna jam over the top of this. The ace queen. We'll get this in for 5 here. King 10. We have too many outs here, so we're gonna lose. Oh, he gets sets up. It's kind of back to our starting stack in the bottom left. Queen 4 is just a little bit not where I wanted to be. I'm gonna raise kind of a pot committing amount. Well, I'm gonna call with the jacks. This table's been wild. I don't know if I've ever been all in like this many of the first hands of a table. I think I've been all in the first 3 hands of the table. The first 3 hands I play and the first 3 hands. We're going to check back again. Maybe Jack High is good. We're going to fold if he bets on the bottom right. Definitely going to fold to that sizing. That seems like a rather large sizing. We're going to shove if it folds to us in the bottom right. I think we can fold. Hit a flush, oh no. Oh no. I don't know how we're supposed to play that. I know how we're supposed to play this in the bottom right. Just stick it in. I kinda hate when they don't shove, when they do this huge mongoloid raise. It just looks stronger. God, I fucking hate flopping an ace there and then turning it. It's so annoying. I really don't like it. Just give me the bad news early. Do I call here for this many blinds? I guess I don't fucking know. The 4x open is so strong with ace jack strong too. I just like... That's probably a mistake. Should have just flatted. I suppose we're not uber punished. This is like... This is gonna be the last table we play. It's all a little bit much at this point. So we lost these two, but we're not 100% sure which one's the $10 one, so... This is quite a big rip. I don't quite want to make that rip. Some backdoor straight draws. This is going to miss them a lot. We're going to bet around a third pot. There's two low cards. That's going to miss their range a lot. And then there's the queen. We are betting into two people, though. We're going to continue. Okay. We would continue anytime we pick up. We would continue anytime we make a straight draw of some kind that we can get some extra equity on. We're up and down, so we're going to bet. We're going to continue. If the flush comes, we'll bet, I think. I think we're going to just bet. We have a really weak hand there, and we do not have two diamonds, which we would not want to bluff with. Gonna exit out a bunch of these tables and try and sort out what table we're on. We hope it's the $10 table, obviously, but... It is the $10 table, which now we have moneyed in, which is nice. And we're heads up, which is also nice. Or, well, I mean, that's how we moneyed, but... As a general heuristic, I prefer heads up. Really not a strong session for us, though. Yeah. We just, got a nice shellacking this session. I like betting when we have the 1 to a flush. I like betting a little bit bigger on this pot. I do think this range hits him a lot, though. We have 2 overs as well. I think we just gotta go with it, actually. Really unfortunate. I think he has a pair. Oh, he has that pair. That's gross. It's it's not the pair I was expecting to see. Should have just ripped it in instead of just like min raised or like whatever type raise that is. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to make a $15 triple up thing. We're going to copy this one and then change the numbers. I think it's just all 3x of the other one, so this is something we can do off stream. Yeah, we took a little bit of a shot today, kind of ran into it for the most part. Not super thrilled with that. I think we played okay. I'll have to go back over the video. One of the things I like about making videos on this is we can go back over our play and see where we made mistakes and such. I think we might have done a couple of punty things on the triple up board, but nothing too out of line. I think we ran a little bit under on all-ins, which is like kind of what happens usually when we have a really good day. We ran overly good on all-ins, and when we have a not so good one, we ran poorly. But anyways, any comments, suggestions, anything like that, feel free to leave it in the comments if you're on the YouTubes, and have a good one.